around the age of 9 months of age, Nathan became quite unwell. My mother-in-law was holding him one time and he was grey and limp and kind of unresponsive. But then the doctor tested his urine and he had a urinary tract infection. So she gave him antibiotics and he responded well. And so he was referred to Christchurch Public to have further investigation, just in case it was a kidney issue that was causing the UTI. He had to go undergo some pretty invasive medical tests. The results of his test, he had grade 4 kidney reflux, which meant he had to have surgery. This kidney was scarred because of the urine going back up to his kidney. They had to stop that from happening. For us, and me in particular, the fear was very real. You have this child that you give birth to and you just expect that everything is going to grow up really well and healthy, and then suddenly you're handing your child over to a medical team who are, going to operate on him and to trust them that this was going to be, he was going to come through this surgery, and also, it was a time that we had to hand him over to God as well. Holding on to faith for us took a whole new dimension. I journaled a lot, I cried a lot, I leaned into God so much and so close. Whether Nathan was, whatever the outcome of that surgery was, the hope and knowing that he held us and held Nathan no matter what the outcome. And we had to lean into that, and that was so growing for us that he would never let us go. He would hold us, because going through this, it tests your marriage. It's such a deep thing to walk through. He came out of that fine, and after surgery he really picked up in health and had a good appetite. And we started to see this little boy really flourish. About 17 months of age, they discovered that he had very high blood pressure. In fact, it was alarmingly high, and Professor Abbott was very, very concerned. And they said to us that he would have to go on blood pressure tablets for the rest of his life. It was an emotional roller coaster because, suddenly you think he's going to come out of surgery well and he's going to get a really good prognosis. And then, to be told that he has, to take medication for the rest of his life. It's like, what? Our world was turned upside down enough from what had happened. And Mike and I just decided that we wanted to pray for Nathan and really believe that God was going to heal him. We just joined together and we prayed and we believed that Nathan would be healed. We just hung on to every bit of faith that we had. And then one day we really felt, he was 2 years of age, we really felt to go to a church. We hadn't been there before. We just felt to go to the church in Littleton. It was called The Door. I had this overwhelming feeling that today was the day that he was going to get healed. We went into the church and we sat down and I couldn't stop crying. I just said to Mike, today's the day. I just know he's going to get healed. And so the pastor's wife was up the front and she had said, I really believe that there's an anointing for healing. If anyone needs healing, please come up. And I was too emotional and I said, Mike, can you please take Nathan up? And she prayed for him and I just knew that he was healed. And we just spent the day rejoicing, and I couldn't wait to take him to the doctors the next day. And we woke up that morning really excited because we knew that this was going to be proven as a miracle. And it was wonderful because I just knew when he put the cuff on and he was going to test his blood pressure that it was going to have a very good reading, but I didn't expect it was going to be, better than perfect. It was amazing. We were really excited because he was discharged from the public system and he did not have to take any medication for his blood pressure because it was perfect. And we really believed that his kidney was healed as well. And he's lived a really good life and a healthy life. Sometimes we want to work out who God is and try to understand him, with our own minds, but it's often just unfathomable. We only understand a little bit about God. Some people get healed and some don't. We're just so grateful that Nathan had the opportunity to be healed. I don't think it's anything that we did or, that was deserving of, Nathan over anyone else, but it just happened. This whole journey has just enlarged our understanding of Christ, and that, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out the way we want and things, or the way we need, but he is someone so reliable to hold on to in those times, and someone to nestle into when you need that comfort and that uplifting, and just to carry you through those times.